Today we're going to be making the calcium powder out of the eggshells. Let's get started.
Perfect.
Okay, so you can actually do a couple of different things with your eggshells. We use them for the meal calcium supplement as well as in our garden. If I'm either way that I'm using it, what I do is on a fresh egg, or freshly used egg, I should say, I will just rinse out the egg. You don't need to worry about the membrane. Leave the membrane in there. You just want to take out the egg part, that little bit of white that kind of sits on that. Whoops. Just kind of put them upside down and allow them to dry. Once they're dry, they will break up on you really nice, and we'll show you how that gets done. All right, so I usually just kind of, once they're dry, I just kind of let them collect into a Ziploc bag, and I keep that usually pretty close to the sink. And this way, as they're drying, as they dry, I throw them in there, and then there always seems to be some sort of a eggshell, no matter what stage it is, whether needing to be cleaned or just drying on my counter. When I get to about this much, I'll go ahead and put them into my little magic bullet here that seems to, or any type of food processor or grinder that you have, and that will work just fine. Crunch them in there. And the reason you want to make sure that they are dry when they do it is if you put wet eggshells in here, you're going to end up with a big clump instead of a nice fine powder. And we're aiming for a nice fine powder, so just crunch them all in there. And yes, you can, by all means, if you make hard-boiled eggs, you can certainly use the shells that you peel off of there for it as well. And make sure you just give them a quick little rinse and then throw them in there. Okay, so now before I grind it, what we're looking for, this is what I use, in their meals. It's just a little powdery consistency. You will see little spots where there's, some that are a little bit not quite as ground up as into a fine powder as the rest of it, and that's totally fine as long as it's like little bit pieces. So we'll just put it all in there. Hopefully our bullet's going to cooperate with us today, and so I'm just going to get a fresh little baggie here, or you can put it into any kind of container you wish. I do suggest you label them on the dates, because you'll have multiple batches. I keep mine in the freezer just for preservation purposes. You could probably keep it in the fridge for a while, and it would be fine too if you knew you're going to use it right away. So it is August of 2018. Whoops. And obviously just try to use your oldest one first. If you have a few baggies of them in there. Let's see if we got a nice grind to it. Yep, look, woo, pretty powdery. And we'll just dump it on in there. And that gives us a nice little batch. So it'll be coated in there too. And if you were about to give a dog one of its meals, you can put a little bit of water in there, just, shake it up and pour it over the food. A little extra calcium will not hurt them. But otherwise, just wash it out. So that'll give us at least probably 2 batches worth of food. We only give about a half a teaspoon in each meal. And for puppies, you would give more. Their bones are still developing, so you would for sure give them a larger dose. And you can certainly check with your veterinarian to, consult with them as to how much you would want to use for your puppies. With Beryl, I used a full teaspoon each meal. He now only gets a half a teaspoon. So that's pretty much it in a eggshell as opposed to a nutshell. So that was a nice, quick, easy one. Thanks again for tuning in. Pause up as always. Be sure to like and share and subscribe. We always look forward to passing on some knowledge and information for you, you know. By all means, any questions that you have, please feel free to submit them in either through our Facebook or our email or comments, you know, in the video here. And we look forward to seeing you again. Have a great day. Pause up.